everyone, welcome back to our Inside Early Career series. This week I am joined by our founder David Ball and our senior instructor Denise. Denise has worked in the banking industry for over 30 years and as a result really understands the importance of having not just the financial markets knowledge or technical capabilities, but those key professional and business skills. And that's something that we really find important when we're putting together our graduate programs. So David, going to you first. Why is this balance of all of these skills so important for us, would you say?
Thanks, Jess. I think that there's really I guess it's two things. If we look at the graduate engineers, the graduate technologists that we're helping join banks, there's two big things that are really new to them. One, they're going to work in a bank, so it's a heavily regulated industry, and they've really got to understand how their role relates to the bank and to the bank's role as a key player or the financial services firm as a key player. So it's that understanding that domain is critically important. The second thing, a lot of our clients have huge global workforces, 100 to 200,000 members of staff distributed around the world. And that's also a big new thing to a lot of these graduates coming in to join a global firm, and they've got to understand how to start to navigate their way around the firm, how to start to build those relationships. So it's really those two things, the industry and the scale of the employer that they're moving into are the things that we want to reflect in the training programs alongside the tech skills.
Absolutely. And then Denise, moving into the classroom, how do we bring this to life? How do we make this happen in the classroom?
Yeah, Jess. Well, for me, it's about supporting those graduates to really connect those technical skills, connect and build their technical skills, actually, that they're coming in with, in a speedy and effective way into that bigger picture that David talks about there, how the bank or the insurer actively operate, who are their external clients, what is that regulatory environment, who are their internal clients in terms of the teams that they're joining, and how can these graduates start to develop a sense and an understanding of the client needs and perspectives, that will really help them to hit the ground running and have impactful, and productive uh, relationships from day one when they enter their teams. I've spent, as you say, several decades working in banking operations and asset managers, be that in operations or project management or service roles. And I've certainly seen firsthand how projects can succeed or fail purely on how well we understand the business needs, how well teams communicate, how well we pause and apply deep questioning skills to to understand and get clarity on the outcomes, the real outcomes, not transactionally deliver something, but in a much richer way, understand whatever we're doing and how it fits into that larger picture. And that takes collaboration, teamwork. Technical ability is no doubt core, but alone does not deliver results and quality. And when we work with learners, for example, if it's a data analysis or an API development topic, we'll build a very real business case scenario around it. We will help the learners to bring those technical skills to life in the real world in which the graduates will be operating in. So the students aren't linearly applying a learned technical skill, but very richly considering how to communicate proactively with their internal stakeholders. Identify who their stakeholders are, actually, to start with, communicate, to validate approaches and solutions, and for themselves to build greater confidence, and for the larger team, greater confidence as well, that that output will deliver to the business. There's nothing worse than working on something and then realizing it's not fit for purpose, it's not going to be impact. So how can we build in those structured ways and skills to help alleviate and remove that as a risk entirely? So the learners have to collaborate. They have to analyze issues, they have to propose fixes, present it back to themselves as a group, receive feedback, real robust, powerful conversations, which ultimately help gain buy-in, gain credibility, and gain confidence for the learners in terms of being strong communicators as well as strong listeners and problem solvers, just like they will need to do in the real world when they join their teams. And it's quite amazing to see the transformation at the start. Many can be hesitant to speak up. I'm not sure I know, I'm not 100% sure what I'm going to say is correct. So I'm just going to I'll stay quiet here and I'll just listen. But actually, we really want to encourage people to contribute from the beginning, to speak up, to challenge ideas, to bring different perspectives. They don't need to be right. They're still adding value to the development of the outcome. By the end of the program, they're presenting their solutions to the class with real confidence, explaining what they've built, why they've built it, how it matters to the business, the impact it will have, and really able to demonstrate that understanding for their teams that they're joining, but also for their own confidence, as they enter into their teams and start hitting the ground running. So we spend time on the what I would call the financial knowledge side of things. That is important. David's alluded to it there. It's a complex industry. There are many moving parts. Um, these graduates often don't come from finance backgrounds. They are more technical backgrounds. So we want to give them some foundations there. They understand even the language that they'll hear in their teams. And then very much the interpersonal and professional skills, communicating, providing feedback. How do I influence someone? Questioning skills. Questioning skills are a superpower. And I've worked in many large organizations throughout my life. Building powerful networks is also a superpower. So encouraging them to build trust-based relationships, credible relationships across their areas, and to be proactive in that. So they're the type of skills that really help graduates thrive when they do join their teams.
You've covered so much there, Denise, and it really shows that it's not just about having those technical skills, it's really about being able to help them thrive in a business environment from day one.
Yeah, I mean, the technical skills are critically important. Um, they get them in the door, they set them up for success, and those professional skills and the banking knowledge help them to stay, grow, and actually make a real impact earlier in terms of their roles. And of course, for them as individuals to build successful careers. I use the analogy that entering an industry as complex and as dynamic as banking and finance and insurance, it's like putting together a 10,000 piece jigsaw. Uh, you're not going to put it together in a 2 hour or a 3 week program, but actually, if you can start to build the framework, the edges of the jigsaw, understand what are the key things that are in there, when they hit their teams, they're going in armed with questions to deepen that understanding. And really, it's hugely rewarding for me when I get a message from a graduate, months later, to say, remember we talked about this? I didn't really understand it at the time, but actually this happened last week and I was able to do this, and it's starting to make sense. It's starting to come in together. And that's really a privilege to help sow some of the seeds, in what is very fertile minds and grounds and very, very talented people, to help them that ultimately they flourish when they join their teams.
That must be so rewarding for you to receive those messages on LinkedIn from people that you probably thought in the beginning were a bit more nervous or shy, and then there they are getting a promotion or doing those steps that you taught them. That's really great. Well, thank you both for joining me today. And if anyone wants to find out more about how we're implementing the professional skills into our early careers programs, then you can check out the link below. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Thanks, Jess.